How's it going, everybody? My name is LuckyBunz, and in today's video we're going to be covering the full Halloween event. Both Part 1 and Part 2 is going to be taking place from October 21st to November 2nd. There's a lot to talk about here. Some people might be excited about this event. It's supposed to be one of the most anticipated events of the year, in my opinion. I think it's going to be a lot of fun, but the way it's structured, I mean, well, let's just talk about it. So first of all, let's go over the Go Pass, right? We're going to have a Go Pass instead of a ticket this year for the Halloween event. This Go Pass is going to cost $8, and we're going to get the following bonuses. Well, first of all, let's go over the free bonuses. At Tier 1, you're going to get 2 times catch candy. At Tier 2, you're going to get additional candy for nice, great, and excellent throws. And then at Tier 3, you're going to get 2 times transfer candy and an increased chance for extra large candy when transferring Pokemon. Now, the paid bonuses, if you actually get the $8 event ticket, sorry, the $8 Go Pass, you're going to get at Tier 1 3 times catch candy instead of 2 times catch candy. And then at Tier 3, you're going to get 3 times transfer candy and a greater increased chance for extra large candy when transferring Pokemon. So those additional bonuses are quite nice. I think the 3 times catch candy is quite appealing. And again, these bonuses are going to last from the start of the event until November 2nd at the end of Part 2. Now, of course, with that being said, we have to ask ourselves, is the Go Pass worth it? Well, for these bonuses alone, I think if you're going to be playing a lot during this event, the additional candy can make it super fun. Like last year, I got gifted the event ticket and I had a ton of fun just playing the event with the 3 times catch candy. I had a blast. And by the end of it, you're going to have more candy on these event Pokemon than you really know what to do with. That said though, if you just want to stick with the free pass, I think the bonuses are still going to be good and it's going to be a lot of fun as well. I do also want to mention when it comes down to these Go Passes, from the premium track, you tend to get a lot of items that actually make it worth the price point. So in terms of this pass, it's going to be $8. You're probably going to get enough premium items back from the reward pool that make it worth the $8. So just keep in mind, like, the bonuses themselves are kind of like a cherry on top, which is weird to think about, but it is kind of more like that. And again, like, I think if it just like comes down to having a lot of fun during this event, I think the Go Pass is going to be worth it, because the event ticket last year was worth it when I was gifted it. But that being said, I do also think it's kind of interesting to see them move away from tickets and focus more on Go Passes instead for certain events. Like, what's nice about the tickets is that you can at least gift them to your friends. Like, I wouldn't have been able to play last year with the event ticket if I didn't actually just get gifted it. And when it comes down to these Go Passes, well, I mean, I wish you could gift them. I never really understood the reasoning why you can't gift them. It would seem like an easy way to make more money for the company, but I guess there's probably some sort of reason behind that. So of course, in the comment section down below, let me know if you think this Go Pass is worth it. Are you going to be buying it? Are you going to be skipping it? So we have the Go Pass, and that's kind of its own thing as far as additional event bonuses go, but now we have to talk about the actual event, starting with Part 1. So this is going to be running from October 21st to October 27th from 10 a.m. to 10 a.m. local time. Now during this event, we're going to get the debut of Poltchageist, which has an evolved form, and that's going to cost 50 candy to evolve. I have tried to pronounce this many times. I cannot do it, so I apologize in advance. Maybe some of you guys can help me out in the comment section down below with a pronunciation guide. Those always help me a bunch. I always appreciate when you guys do that. So this Pokemon especially, I just think I need a little help here. Anyways, though, this takes on the dual typing of Ghost and Grass. Now, in terms of meta relevance here, I don't think it's really going to be that good. It's definitely not going to be good in raid battles. It might be good in PvP, so I mean, you could try to get a good IV spread, but at the same time, it looks like it's raid locked, in which case you wouldn't really be able to get a good IV spread without having to trade it first, and that's kind of its whole thing. So I think I would just wait off on this Pokemon for now. Don't give into the FOMO. You'll get it eventually when it comes back, and it'll probably be a bit more accessible. Like, ideally, you want to hunt these Pokemon when they're in the wild, not when they're locked in raids, especially because it can't even be shiny. That being said, though, we are going to get the debut of Shiny Sinistea during this event, and this will be shiny boosted in raid battles, although I do not recommend doing it that way. This Pokemon will also be available in the wild. It's going to have a spotlight hour at the end of the month. If you want to save your raid passes for something more worthy, I would encourage you to do so, because you'll have plenty of opportunity to actually try to get this shiny in the wild encounter pool, and in my opinion, that's a lot more worth it than doing endless raids for this guy, which, again, when it comes down to raid battles here, I always feel like the shiny raids are kind of terrible, and based on recent events over the past few months in Pokemon GO, the shiny raids haven't even been accurate. So it's definitely not a great move to do these in raid battles, just given how shady the company has been recently. I would just kind of try to hunt this in the wild, and again, just focus on that spotlight hour. We'll talk about that later in the video. If you want to skip ahead to that section right now, you can do so using the timestamps down below. Now, in terms of the other Pokemon that are going to be available in the wild, we do have a bunch of unmentioned Pokemon, so expect more encounters, but for the ones that were mentioned, we have Zorua, Hisuian Zorua, which the Hisuian form can't actually be shiny yet, so just keep that in mind. Only the regular variant can. And then we have Graveyard. They didn't mention anything else. It kind of looked like they were focusing more on timed research Pokemon, or sorry, field research Pokemon during this event, but of course, it's a Halloween event. I do expect there to be quite a good amount of wild encounters out there, so we'll just have to wait and see what that looks like. I don't really know why they decided to hide that information before this event. Kind of seemed like they could have just given us that info because, I mean, why not? But anyways, it is what it is. Taking a look at the field research tasks, though, we're going to get access to Sableye, Yamask, Zorua, Hisuian-Zorua, Litwick, Volibeye, and then Phantom. And then for the rare task, we're going to have Spiritomb, which historically has been a win a raid task or like win 3 raids or something like that. So if you happen to get these raid tasks, I would hold on to them. Spiritomb is one of the rarest Pokemon in the game, and that of course includes the shiny variant. I had to lucky trade for mine, and I gotta say, it's one of my best shinies in my collection, just because I know how difficult it is to actually get this guy. And again though, those tasks are pretty hard to find, so if you do happen to get a win a raid task during this event or like win 3 raids or something like that, and it says event, hold on to that. It's not like it's going to be that common. I do also want to mention there are going to be field research tasks that award Mega Energy for Dark and Ghost type Pokemon, specifically Gengar, Houndoom, Sableye, Banette, and Absol. These Pokemon will also be available in the Mega Raid pool, so you can also just get the energy that way. But I think for anybody who just wants to get the energy without having to use the raid passes, maybe you want to save those raid passes for a different Pokemon, you can just focus on these research tasks. If my memory serves me correct, I don't remember these being that generous. I think it was like 25 energy per completion, so you're still gonna have to do a lot of them, and I think just doing 1 Mega Raid is gonna get you way more. So when it comes down to it, if there is like a Mega Pokemon you do want to focus on, just do the raid battle. It's probably a bit more efficient. Speaking of raid battles, let's go over what's going to be in the lower tier raid bosses. So in 1-star raid battles, we're going to get Galarian Yamask, we're going to get Sinistea, which is supposed to be shiny boosted, that should be about 1 out of 64, and then we're going to get Poltchageist. In 3-star raid battles, we're going to get Alolan Marowak, Hisuian Typhlosion, and Hisuian Samurott. Honestly, none of these really stand out as really good Pokemon, and I really like Typhlosion, so I mean, I'm saying that here with a bias. I don't think it's like something you should really pay attention to. Save your raid passes for the legendary Pokemon and the Mega Pokemon. Now, what's actually pretty cool during this event is that we're going to get some new Shadow raids. Did not really expect this at all, but we're going to have Shadow Galarian Yamask and Shadow Phantom in 1-star Shadow raids. These will be available in raids until November 2nd at the end of Part 2, so you will have the entirety of the Halloween event to actually farm them. I think when it comes down to Shadow Phantom, that Pokemon's going to be really good for PvP, and maybe even the same thing with Shadow Galarian Yamask. Not 100% sure about that one, but Shadow Phantom for sure. I used to use Trevenant all the time. That Pokemon is ridiculous, so if you can get a good IV spread somehow on the Shadow variant, then more power to you. Now, before we take a look at the other raid battles, I also want to go over the Part 2 information and which kind of bonuses you're going to be getting during this portion of the event. So first of all, this event is going to be running from October 27th to November 2nd, 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. local time. You're going to get the following bonuses. You're going to get a boosted shiny rate on costume Pokemon from raid battles, most likely 1 out of 64 shiny rate. And then on October 31st, you're going to get a small chance to get Rare Candy or Rare Candy XL from Nice, Great, and Excellent throws. But based on previous years, I would not expect much from this. The candy rates were extremely low. So yeah, they always mention this bonus, but it's basically non-existent. I would not bank on this at all. I would just pretend this bonus doesn't exist because it basically doesn't. Now during this event, we're also going to get the debut of Teddiursa with a witch hat costume and Noibat with a headband costume. Both of these Pokemon will have boosted shiny odds, and they will be able to evolve right away into their evolved forms. Normally when we get costume Pokemon, we can't evolve them right away, but during this event we can, which is kind of cool. So Noibat costs 400 candy to evolve into Noivern, gonna be quite an expensive Pokemon there, and then Teddiursa has an evolution into Ursa Ring, and then under a full moon you can evolve it into Ursa Luna, but only under a full moon. So I mean, if you have it, just hold on to it for the next full moon that we get in game, and then you should be good to go. I'm not sure if there will be like a bonus where you can just kind of evolve it during this event, and it's gonna be like an ongoing full moon, but there was nothing mentioned about that. And I should also mention, these are the only 2 Pokemon that were mentioned in the Wild Encounter pool. Technically they mentioned and more, so we could see other Pokemon, but they just decided not to include any of those Pokemon, just like in Part 1. Not really sure why they do stuff like this. It's kind of annoying. I wish I had this information ahead of time to get you guys prepped, but unfortunately we just have the costume Pokemon mentioned. Now in terms of the field research tasks, we are going to get different Pokemon compared to Part 1. We essentially have more of a focus on costume Pokemon from the field research tasks. So we're going to have Pikachu with the costume, Teddiursa with the costume like I mentioned earlier, Froakie with the costume, Noibat, and then Rowlet. I believe Froakie and Rowlet were the featured Pokemon last year, and then of course we have Pikachu because it's Pikachu. And then like I mentioned earlier, we're still going to have the Spiritomb task for Win a Raid. raid, or win 3 raids, I think, and then we're going to have the Mega Energy task. So those are going to stay consistent, but we just get some new costume Pokemon replacing the other Pokemon that were mentioned in part 1. Now when it comes down to the lower tier raid battles, these did also change as well, once again kind of focused on costume Pokemon plus some of the new debut Pokemon. So we're going to have Pikachu with the costume, Piplup with the costume, which is going to be raid exclusive. We're going to have Sinistea and Poltchageist, like I mentioned in part 1. And then for 3-star raid battles, we're going to have Drifloon in a costume and then Gengar in a costume. Gengar actually has access to 2 different Halloween costumes, and the one that they gave us during this event isn't the one that I think is particularly the better one. So, I mean, take that for what you will. If you like it, then by all means, make sure to raid it and try to get the shiny. That pretty much covers all the information for part 2, and overall, I can understand not being super hyped about this. I don't think a lot of players necessarily were, but, you know, if we combine everything together, there is a lot going on between the Halloween event. I just think it's more selective on what you guys actually want to focus on. So with that being said, let's talk about the legendary raid pool rotation next. From October 14th, or sorry, I should say until October 28th, we're going to have the normal, Douse, and Shock Drive Genesect forms available. Genesect is going to be a mythical Pokemon, which means the only way to get the shiny is going to be from raid battles. You cannot trade this Pokemon. And in terms of meta relevance here, Genesect is pretty good to use in the Open Ultra League, depending on which drive it has access to. And paired together with the exclusive Technoblast moveset, this will be pretty damn good. That being said though, it's not going to be available during this rotation, so if you do want to actually give it Technoblast with the respective Drive Form moveset, you will have to use an Elite TM. Next up, from October 28th to November 4th, we're going to have Giratina Altered Form, which is a great Pokemon to build for the Open Ultra League or for the Open Master League. For the Ultra League, you do want to ideally mirror trade this with somebody else to get a better IV spread for PvP before you happen to build it, and then of course for the Master League, you want to go for the Hundo. Now what's actually pretty cool is that on October 29th, we're going to have Giratina Origin Form available in raid battles during that raid hour, which is going to be on Wednesday from 6 to 7 p.m. local time. And keep in mind, I would mainly just focus on shiny hunting this guy because at this point in time, we do have better ghost types available. Dawnwing's Necrozma, the best of the best. Even Lunala by itself, because it got access to Shadow Claw, better than Giratina Origin Form now. That being said though, if you do still like Giratina Origin Form, I still think this Pokemon is worth building, but you do have better options out there. So I would probably go with like a shiny Lucky variant, and then just power that up to around like level 40, and then probably stop there. I wouldn't take it further than that, not at this point in time in Pokemon Go. Now in the Mega Raid pool, we're going to get access to Mega Houndoom and Mega Absol from the start of part 1 up until the end. Now both of these Megas do fall behind Mega Tyranitar in the Dark type category, so I wouldn't say they're high priority, but you might want to grab them for your Mega Pokedex if you haven't done so already. Mega Absol with Brutal Swing, which is going to be an Elite TM moveset, is pretty good to use, but again, I mean, having access to Mega Tyranitar, much better. Next up, from October 28th to November 4th, we're going to get access to Mega Gengar, Mega Sableye, and Mega Bayonet. The main one to pay attention to here is going to be Mega Gengar, which is the best ghost type attacker to use in the game. Actually, I think it is slightly behind Dawnwing's Necrozma, but it's still up there, right? It's the best Mega ghost type attacker to use in the game. Mega Sableye is also worth picking up for candy farming bonuses because it takes on the dual typing of Dark and Ghost, which is going to be great to use during this event. In the Max Battle rotation, we're going to get access to Dynamax Ghastly until October 26th, and I would really only do these if you want to farm Ghastly candy for the G-Max form. Sadly, they didn't give us G-Max Gengar during this event, which I feel like was a huge missed opportunity. I feel like they really should have done that. And then after that, we're going to get Dynamax Woobat from October 27th to November 2nd. Can't really think of a reason why you should do these. It's just not useful in anything. Following that, we're going to have these following Spotlight Hours on Tuesday from 6 to 7 p.m. local time. On October 21st, we're going to get access to Ghastly with a special bonus being 2x catch experience. And this should be a pretty fun Spotlight Hour in my opinion because you can actually get some passive Mega Energy on Mega Gengar when you catch Ghastly during this event. It's pretty similar to what we had last month with Pidgey and Aeron, which I think was really cool. Not to mention, Ghastly is also going to be a great Pokemon to take advantage of for the trade evolution discount. So again, if you guys are still going for the experience there, I definitely do think this event is worth playing. This is also going to be the first event after the level cap increase, or I guess technically the second, but I don't really count the Legends EA event because I mean that isn't really an event. It's like an Evolve 3 Pokemon event, which doesn't really count. So next up on October 28th, we're going to get Sinistea with 2x catch candy, and this Pokemon is what you actually want to farm during this event because it's going to get the shiny debut during this event, and it has access to 2 different forms. The Phony form, which is going to be the common one, and its rare Antique form. This will likely be one of your best chances to obtain this rare form, possibly even the shiny rare form, as it is going to be spawning everywhere for this hour. Now with that being said, I'm not entirely sure what the odds are of encountering this in its rare Antique form, but I'm going to be playing this event, and I recommend you guys do as well. Now during this event, the main typings that are going to be featured are going to be Dark and Ghost type Pokemon. That means that Mega Sableye is going to be the best Pokemon to have active during this event because it takes on the dual typing of Dark and Ghost. Otherwise, just use your highest level Ghost or Dark type Mega in order to get more candy and extra large candy, and you should be good to go. During this event, you're going to have the chance chance to get a ton of Ghost and Dark type Mega Pokemon, so even if you are a new/returning player, you can still take advantage of some of these extra bonuses. Now finally, I want to go over some quick candy farming tips. As most of you know, Pinot Berries are going to double the candy you get per catch, and this is going to stack with the event bonus, which means during this event, on the event themed Pokemon, or just any Pokemon you have stacked in your field research, you're going to get 4 times catch candy with the Pinot Berry, and even a bit more with the Silver Pinot Berry, although I would only use it on like really rare Pokemon. Not to mention, because we're also going to get the increased extra large candy when you land excellent throws during this event, or sorry, I should say nice, great, and excellent throws, but of course you get the most with excellent throws. I would strongly recommend using Nana Berries or the Free Shock Adventure effect on Black Kurem to prevent the Pokemon from attacking you and to give you a 1.25 multiplier. I personally love this adventure effect because I can maintain my focus and land those excellent throws without having to worry about the Pokemon attacking me. I personally do like to freehand my excellent throws opposed to the Circle Lock method. I only use the Circle Lock method for like legendary Pokemon and raid battles. That being said though, if you do prefer to use a Circle Lock method to focus in on those excellent throws for Pokemon you want more candy for, all you basically have to do is hold down the Pokeball to set the circle, wait for the attack animation, and then time your throw so that it lands right as that attack animation finishes. This does require a lot more patience, but if it works better for you, then I say go for it. Once again, I personally only use the Circle Lock method on legendary Pokemon, and I prefer to freehand my throws on wild encounters, but to each their own. With that being said though, that pretty much covers all the information for the Halloween event. I hope you guys did find it helpful, and to end off things for this video, I do want to give my thoughts on the overall Halloween event. I think they structured it the same way as last year, right? We have part 1, which is kind of more focused on certain Pokemon, and then part 2 is more focused on costume Pokemon. The reason I wanted to make this video as like a combined video is because I felt like it really highlighted what the Halloween event is going to contain, whereas, you know, going over part 1 or just even going over part 2 by themselves, it seems kind of lackluster. So as a whole, I think this event is going to be pretty fun, like selectively, right, during certain times. But, you know, in the past, I gotta say, I think some of the events were a bit more appealing. A lot of people were really upset we didn't get Mimikyu this year, but I never really felt like we were going to get that this year. I feel like they've just been staggering that release, and it's going to be like a special event. That being said though, I'd love to hear what you guys are thinking about this Halloween event. Do you feel like it's going to be worth it? Are you excited for it? Or are you just going to be focused on Legends EA during this time like myself? I mean, I'm just being honest here. I'm going to go out and play the Halloween event a little bit, but most of my focus is going to be on Legends EA. I'm really looking forward to that game. If you guys haven't actually checked out my second channel where I go over main series Pokemon content, I'm going to link to a video right here on screen, along with the different Pokemon Go video if you want to check that out instead. Otherwise, I wish you all the best of luck during this event. Make sure to farm a ton of candy, and I'll see you all real soon in the next one.